River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Kruger watching Coffee with Kruger. It is, a Monday morning. We're getting ready for one more work week. Next weekend, we've got ourselves a 3-day weekend for many of you, and it should be a pretty good one at that, although things are starting to kind of warm up. We're kind of going status quo with the temperatures. We're not seeing much change here. We're going to see a slight dip today, another probably a little spike here for tomorrow, getting close to 90 as a matter of fact in some spots, and then a bit of a roller coaster ride with those temperatures. Let's get you ready to your forecast here for this morning. And there you can see temperatures right now are mainly around 60 degrees, give or take, in the valley. Looks like we're above freezing for most of the higher elevations, including Bernie at 34, Chester at 44 degrees, Alturas about 40, and you can see those temperatures are in the mid-30s. Now, I will say this, there is a frost advisory. I forgot to put that map in here, but there's a frost advisory for southern Trinity County and southern Humboldt County as well. But you can see the temperatures there really aren't too bad, but it's just one of those things where, especially if we're in the growing season in some areas here, it may create a few problems. So out the door this morning, maybe we're right at 8 o'clock, temperatures low 60s in the valley. So it's kind of getting that time of the year. It's really nice actually, because we're seeing those fairly cool temperatures that start off the day before it does warm up here as we do go into the afternoon hours. Gusty winds out there. These are the latest wind gusts. We've seen over 30 miles per hour towards Redding and Red Bluff. On the east side of the valley, you can see a little bit sheltered, but still gusty there nonetheless in Chico at about 21 miles per hour. So looking at the wind gusts for today, they're fairly strong through the noon hour, even out along the coast as we go into today with those north winds. Still looking at the north winds here, even as we go into the evening hours, and seeing gusts around 20 to even 30 miles per hour. Now, no wind advisories, just more of a nuisance wind, and it is going to elevate our fire danger a little bit. Now, you'll notice as we take a look at our fire weather risk for today, we're barely within the orange. So we're kind of in the yellows and in the lighter shades of orange. What this is basically saying is that, yes, we've got the winds, we've got the low humidity, but we've seen worse conditions despite the fact that it is windy out there. So we, of course, still have that going for us. We take a look at the satellite image, and boy, I mean, there's not much in the way of cloud cover out there. There's some showers and a few thunderstorms over the Sierra. We can see that again here for this afternoon. So looking at Futurecast for today, plenty of sunshine for most of Northern California. You can see some of the clouds coming in for the northern mountains around Siskiyou and Modoc County, and looks like just to the south of Plumas County, so mainly in the Sierra. We could be looking at a chance for a few showers, maybe some thunderstorms today. And by the way, it looks like we may see some of those low clouds kind of return to parts of the coast here, in particular central Humboldt County, later on this afternoon and evening, and not to mention for tonight. So looking at the high temperatures we saw yesterday, and we were mainly in the mid-80s, although Chico about 81, 60s and 70s for the higher elevations. But when we look at our forecast for today, it actually may be just a tad cooler than it was yesterday for most of us. This does not include the coast, obviously. This does not include some of those higher elevations as well. But you get the idea. Nothing too terribly unusual for this time of the year. So I think many of us will take these temperatures. So your 7-day forecast for the valley, you see how we see that spike on Tuesday? There are some indications we could even get close to 90 degrees in some spots for the valley tomorrow. But I'm expecting mid-80s for the rest of the week after that. A slight dip in our temperatures by Saturday. And then as we go into Sunday and into your Memorial Day, looks like those temperatures will start to increase again. Your coast, inland, and for Trinity County. Again, just that little bit of a spike for the inland areas and for Trinity County. But you look at the coast, next 7 days, it's basically upper 50s for the next 7 days. Looking at your 7-day outlook for Siskiyou County, Modoc, and the Eastern Mountains. Again, temperatures going up, then down again, then maybe up a little bit again, then back down again before going back up towards Sunday and into your Monday as well. Taking a look at some of those cameras out there this morning, there you can see Lake Oroville, North Fore Bay, and you can see just a little bit of a light breeze out there. So again, the east side of the valley, the winds don't seem to be quite as bad. But you can see even Chico there looking at those winds, can barely kind of see those trees kind of shaking in the wind. But we take a look at Highway 99 at Neal Road, and you can see that camera there is kind of shaking in the wind there, kind of swaying back and forth with some of those gusty winds. Of course, we don't have the winds to show you here for Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44, but you kind of get the idea. Do want to remind you, before I actually get to that, I did want to show you here that we do have, looking at Trinidad. And then after this, I want to show you another camera. Let's see if I can find it here. I'm kind of doing two things at once here. Let's see if we can maybe see, we'll take a look at Trinidad, just north of Trinidad, actually, at Elk Country. And then, of course, we take you out towards, this is Crescent City, Harbor District. You can see just a beautiful sunny start to the day there. So really not much in the way of cloud cover. And again, we take you back to Trinidad, and it looks like we're looking at mainly sunny skies there as well. All right, again, I did want to remind everyone that there is a free Weather NorCal app that you can download on your iPhone or your Android device. Just search for Weather NorCal in the App Store on your iPhone or on Google Play, and you can download that app for free. There's also a free app for your Roku, your Amazon Fire Stick. Also, if you don't have either one of those devices, say an Apple TV, for example, well, Apple TV has YouTube on it. If you have just a regular smart TV with no set-top box on it, you can use the smart app on your TV, go to YouTube, search for Weather NorCal, and you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel from there as well. So kind of neat. This week we do have a rerun, if you will, of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, but this one I went back and boy, this one was fun. This one was one of those this is really interesting, and then watch to the end because something kind of funny happens here. So let's get you right to it and take a look at your Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, brought to you by Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic and Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Kruger, Weather NorCal. This is another edition of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. We've got a few special guests today. We've got Jessie from Turtle Bay, of course.
Hey there.
And we are going to be talking about amphibians. How exciting is that? I mean, it seems to be kind of one of your passions, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
I mean, amphibians tend to get just overlooked in the wild.
Yeah.
They're just small friends hanging out, but they play such an important role in the ecosystem, and they're so interesting.
Yeah.
Their life cycle's unlike any other animal. So they start out as an egg, and they grow into, well, in this case, a tadpole, and then even morph into an adult. And the really interesting characteristic about amphibians is that they're known to live in and out of water.
I mean, right. I mean, so frog, bullfrog, toad, there's all kinds of different,
Yep.
those are types of
Salamanders,
amphibians,
newts, absolutely.
Right? See, I know a few things.
So here today we have our western toad.
Oh, I didn't even know you. I'm like,
Snuck up on you.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
So this is a native toad that you would find right here in our backyard. And you can see the size. I'm known to have a little bit of smaller hands, but that's a pretty good sized toad right there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty accurate to what you would find here in our native area.
Now, they obviously make some kind of noise, right? You would probably hear them at night? Or
Absolutely, yep. They're known for their croaking and their calling.
Okay.
Yeah, and you might notice that I'm actually wearing gloves here with this friend.
Yeah.
So another big characteristic of amphibians is that they can actually breathe through their skin. And so we want to be careful when handling them because we do have oils and other particles on our hands that could unfortunately harm an amphibian if you were to handle without gloves.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty good indication of a friend that you would find right here in our backyard.
I was hoping you wouldn't jump on me. Now,
No,
so
not
that's
today.
something for people to really think about. So if you see one out in the wild or anywhere,
Yes.
really not a good idea to pick them up.
Never a good idea to pick
Okay.
them up. It can be very damaging to them. And one of the things that's damaging to our native species here as well is actually an invasive species that comes all the way from the
Yes.
East Coast.
Holy
This
cow.
is an American bullfrog.
That's about as American it gets, my friend, right there, yes.
And you can already tell from the size difference
Wow.
that if we are going to be competing for habitat and for food items, that this friend here is actually going to be the winner. So these invasive species have made their way west with human expansion and have been taking over a lot of the native habitat from our western toads here.
So when you say invasive, I mean, that's something that's just, we don't want that, right?
It's just
so how do you
something that's
control
not
something
found
like
in that natural area. Now that's where it gets really tricky. It is very difficult to get a species out of the ecosystem once they've taken over.
Yeah.
And if you can see how large this animal is, he can be the size of a dinner plate. And they just do not stop growing. They will eat anything that they can fit in their mouths, even things like small rodents.
Okay.
Yep.
And a finger?
Yeah, probably a finger. Wouldn't get much further than that, though. So it's really important to try and keep wildlife where it's meant to be found and not be moving it around.
Well, that is awesome. We learned so much about amphibians today. I bet you didn't even think you'd ever think you'd want to learn more about amphibians, but you did today, and thank you so much, Jesse. That was...
And thank you, Jabba.
So that was very pleasant, and that's what's awesome about what we do here today. Thank you, Java. Java's the name?
Yep, Java is the name. You can see again at that big mouth.
You obviously had a little too much Java this morning, apparently. All right, well, thank you, Jesse, and we thank you all so much for joining us on another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. All right, so yes, Java the bullfrog decided to excrete some kind of liquid. I'm only assuming because it was a clear liquid that it was just basically water, but it was a lot of water that sprayed on me, so it was quite interesting, to say the least. And that's what makes things so so much fun over there at Turtle Bay, that there's just, we always get surprised by something. So we always have lots of fun with that. So appreciate you kind of sticking around for that and watching that. Let's see how everybody's doing out there this morning. We've got Tracy and Bill saying good morning to everybody, as well as Terry. Curtis from Red Bluff, 7 miles west of Red Bluff, saying it was a nice working outside yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it was a little warm, but not too bad. I mean, the valley saw highs in the mid 80s for those daytime highs. So yeah, it was pretty good out there yesterday. Happy Monday in windy central Reading. Yes, it is a windy start to the day. And I mean, I look out my window here and you know, the American flags that people have in their front yards and the trees that are blowing around in the wind. 34 degrees in my on my back porch at 6 a.m. this morning in Fortuna. All right, well, thank you for chiming in this morning, Rowdy Kelly. And we've got Lisa Stevens saying, cannot trust animals. Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, you could say that. You just never know what to expect sometimes with animals, no matter whether they're domesticated or not. They can do a lot of things that can be quite surprising, so kind of fun. All right, tell you what, I want to say good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for chiming in this morning, and tell me what you think and what's going on this morning, what you maybe have going on in the day, and maybe while you're kind of typing in what you have planned for the day, I'll go through the forecast and we will get you through the day here as well. Now this segment, the Coffee with Kruger, it is brought to you by and made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. So yeah, Wind River Resort and Casino enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So I want to thank Wind River for their support. Take a look at the temperatures out there right now. And yeah, I mean, we're starting off, I mean, this is the kind of the great part of the year, right? Because yes, we're seeing those daytime highs getting warmer, but at least in the morning, we get that nice little break. It's nice and cool in the morning, upper 50s, low 60s for the valley. But again, the winds are really blowing this morning, and that's keeping those temperatures up a bit. But not quite as strong for some of the higher elevations, but still mainly above freezing there. 43 degrees in Hoopa, 41 Willow Creek, and 34 degrees in Hayfork. As I mentioned, there is a frost advisory for southern Trinity in southeastern Humboldt County, but we're really not seeing those temperatures drop too much below freezing in some of those areas. Now, we look at the headlines. We do have the gusty winds at times with elevated fire danger really over the next few days, and we'll look at futurecasts, you'll see what I'm talking about. But highs slightly above normal this week, getting warmer for your Labor Day, and possible showers and thunderstorms in the Sierra. And we look at the wind gusts, and yeah, I mean, right now, the winds have subsided a little bit in the last half hour or so out at the Reading Airport, but there you can see as you head southward. So it's mainly the central and west side of the valley where we're seeing those strongest winds. Notice the winds aren't quite as strong as you head to the east, but still gusting over 20 miles per hour out of Chico. And by the way, it's still pretty gusty even along the coast as well. even today, Crescent City, you could see gusts upwards of around 30 miles per hour, maybe close to 20 miles per hour in Eureka. And again, there's the valley. You see how we're still seeing 20 to even 30 miles per hour, and those winds do shift a little bit more to the east. So places like Chico may see those winds pick up as well. For your morning, looks like the winds do subside a little bit for parts of the coast, and not to mention the valley, but still gusty even tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, gusty, but I think the winds will be stronger today than they will be tomorrow. But there you can still see some gusts out along the coast as well. We take you into your Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, still those gusty winds, 20 to possibly upwards of 30 miles per hour again for Wednesday. And look at the coast, still some gusty winds there. And look at that, even some of the mountain locations are seeing some gusty winds. So there's a reason, and I'll show you why we expect to see these gusty winds over the next few days along with those cooler temperatures. Now what you'll notice here, yes, the humidity is low and we're looking at those gusty winds. Now the reason the fire danger isn't too terribly high is because it's not really hot outside. So with these cooler temperatures, it really keeps our fire risk kind of within that moderate range, not quite in that high range. It's close in some areas here, but mainly in that moderate range. And it looks like the fire danger, even though temperatures are going up tomorrow, the winds are dying down a little bit here. So we're still kind of just barely within that moderate range for that fire weather risk for your Tuesday. Now going into Wednesday, same situation. Yes, the winds are picking up, but the heat really isn't all that bad. So we're really just kind of within that moderate range with that fire weather risk. This is good. You know, you think about the fires that we've seen here so far this season, and for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of damage. Yes, unfortunately, I think it was last week, we did see some homes get lost and some structures get lost kind of north in the Big Bend area, just north of Lake Oroville. But really, again, when we that was an arson fire, unfortunately. But you kind of get the idea. These conditions are getting better out there, but what's going to start to happen is as we start seeing more of these wind events and things start to dry out, because that's the thing, you start to see those north winds on a regular basis, we're going to start to dry out a lot of those fuels very quickly over the next couple of weeks. As long as we have these dry north winds. So looking at the big picture here, you can see that we do have a storm system here, another one here, there's another one back here. Now that's important to take note. Now, as we take a look at now what we've got going on here, we do have some clouds coming into the north and northeast. Also maybe a few showers to the south of Plumas County, mainly in the Sierra for this afternoon, and maybe some clouds returning later this afternoon and evening for the coast. Take you into your Tuesday, and we're looking at mainly sunny skies. But again, you can see a few clouds kind of coming into the north. Looks like dry for the Sierra for your Tuesday, but it looks like we're starting to see a bit of a marine layer coming in later in the day tomorrow for the coast. And that marine layer is going to stick around for Wednesday morning. Maybe some clouds kind of coming into parts of Siskiyou and Modoc, and not to mention northern Lassen County. But those clouds kind of dissipate, and even some of that fog begins to dissipate along the coast as well. But you get the idea, mainly looking at those dry conditions. I wanted to show you this because it's kind of interesting how we started the month of May with temperatures right around or just below normal for this time of the year. Then we saw a nice, beautiful cool down for that first weekend of May, and it started to slowly increase back up in the 90s. So we went from 69 Saturday, a week later, to 94 degrees for that daytime high. And then temperatures kind of plummeted a little bit, but we did see the hottest temperature of the year so far on Wednesday. Didn't quite reach that triple digit mark, but it did get very warm last Wednesday, and then temperatures started to drop again, and look where we are to start off. So we're seeing this roller coaster ride so far for the month of May, and that trend will continue not only this week. You see kind of go up, then they kind of go back down again, and they start to kind of go back up. That trend will most likely not only continue next week or this week, but most likely through the rest of the month of May. Now, I wanted to show you not just the valley, but of course the mountains are seeing that trend as well. Temperatures up, then down, then up, then down, then back up again. But the coast is just flatlined, right? Mainly in the upper 50s to around 60 for those daytime highs. So again, I was talking about these cooler temperatures. That cooler air is moving to the east. This cooler air is diving down to the south. Now, these are what we call inside sliders. As these systems kind of roll, kind of push through to our north and east, not only does it keep our temperatures down, but it also gives us those gusty winds. And you can see another one right here that'll come through toward the end of the week. So these off and on gusty winds will be the case for the rest of the week, unfortunately. But the good news is the cooler air is going to stay in place, so our fire danger isn't going to be quite as elevated. But the bad news from all of that is we'll continue to see these dry north winds, and that will continue to dry out a lot of the vegetation that we have out there, and that will eventually kind of maybe even bump up when we really start to get more concerned about fires as the heat kicks in and more of those gusty winds as well. Now we can only hope, much like the last few years, we didn't really see a lot of big wind events, and that was really a big saving grace for the most part during those last two fire seasons. So we can only hope that this year is the case as well. But we look at your Memorial Day here for next Monday, that ridge of high pressure starts to build in by the end of this upcoming weekend and into Monday, when a lot of you probably had the day off. So just in time, the cooler weather goes back up to warmer weather as we go into next week. But there you can see, looking at the Climate Prediction Center, is kind of putting us in that cooler category. This is the near normal and this is the above normal. Now, cooler category, that's just kind of barely within that below normal. So most likely, I think we're going to be around or just above normal in most cases here going through this week. We take a look at futurecasts, and we're not seeing any rain really pushing through us. There may be a few isolated showers and thunderstorms for parts of the Sierra, but unfortunately, it does look like it does remain dry. So looking at your wave heights for today, fairly high out along the coast. They get even higher as you start heading out to sea. Now going into your Tuesday though, the good news is looks like those wave heights will start to drop. But with the high wave heights today, there actually is a gale warning through the afternoon. North winds at 20 to 30 knots. So again, those high winds, and not to mention those high waves as well. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 70s, really on average for the next 7 days. We're not seeing much change. Again, just that roller coaster ride, a mini kid roller coaster ride, if you will. And that's going to be the case for almost everyone, with the exception of the immediate coast, where you can see, of course, eventually, as we take a look at that 7-day outlook for the coast, we're going to keep those temperatures basically upper 50s to low 60s. Now, this is not the coast, but very close to it, kind of has that marine influence there. As we take you up northward, here you can see this is what it looks like out in Hoopa. Temperatures going up, then down, then up again. And as we take you up north, out towards places like Smith River, Crescent City. Again, there you can see Crescent City. Look at the temperatures, mainly in the upper 50s. This is going to be that flat line of those temperatures. But again, elsewhere, mountains, inland valleys, the valley itself, the Sacramento Valley, up and down with those temperatures pretty much anywhere you go. That's including Scott Valley. Today, Scott Valley, about 65 degrees for Etna, as well as Callahan. We take you out to central and eastern Siskiyou County, a little bit cooler out towards some of those higher elevations in the north and east. Otherwise, in the mid to upper 60s for the rest of us in Siskiyou County. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, again, up and down with those temperatures, low 60s for the most part throughout the day today. And the eastern mountains, you guessed it, that roller coaster ride, temperatures mid to upper 60s, but some 70s for some of the warmer spots. Lake Almanor, Lassen Park, there you can see Chester about 67 degrees today, 51 degrees for Summit Lake. We take you to the south where Paradise, you'll see a high of about 75 degrees, Greenville about 65 and 67 degrees in Susanville. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. There you can see temperatures mainly in the low to mid 80s for your daytime highs. Up. Now notice it's 89. I mean, I think there are some places tomorrow in the valley that could quite possibly touch that 90-degree mark, but nowhere near that today. But there it is, upper 80s here for your Tuesday, and then temperatures start to drop again before they go back up by the time we get into the second half of the weekend, and not to mention for your Labor Day. Let's take, your Memorial Day. All right, taking a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. About 88 degrees for your Tuesday, mid 80s, between 84 and 86 for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Nice dip in those temperatures for the beginning of this weekend, and not to mention even into Sunday. Not that much warmer, but after Saturday, temperatures will start to kind of increase again, and it looks like that will be the case even going into your Memorial Day. I keep saying Labor Day, but it's Memorial Day. I understand that. All right, let's see if there's anything else going on out there for you all. And it looks like Frank is saying, what's the weather going to be like in McLeod? Oh, Saturday is the Mushroom Festival. How fun is that? I'm going to be out of town, I think, this weekend. Bummer. My wife is a big fan of the Mushroom Festival. But, so the question is, what's the weather going to be like in McLeod? It's going to be beautiful. So you saw what the temperature is. In fact, let's take a look. I don't think I have McLeod in there in particular, although here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you to weathernorcal.com. Okay, let's take a look at weathernorcal.com. What? Let's try that again. What's going on here? I've been having some weird internet issues this morning. Well, okay. Oh, here we go. I got the home page. What is going on? Refused to connect. Well, I hope, hopefully it's just on my end here. Ay. What? Is it just, oh man. Well, that's not a good way to advertise your website when it's not even connecting. Let's see if I can get it on my other computer here. Let's see if I can get it from the app. Yeah, it is showing up on this computer. Let me try one more time. Maybe if I try a different browser? Oh, there it goes. You should be able to see it. All right, there we go. I don't know what was going on. That was weird. But anyway, as I was trying to smoothly transition into the Mushroom Festival, if you're curious, Frank, or anybody else, and you're like, hey, what's going to be like this weekend in a particular location outside of the valley? And of course, as you know, I'm centralized in Redding, so there's a lot of focus on that. But take a look at this. Look at the very top of the menu. You can see, and I'm going to go up to the wall here where you can see it. You see this right here? So this is the main menu where you can get all the stuff, coffee with Kruger, all that. But right below it, I've got neighborhoods, 6 different neighborhoods. So you're asking about McLeod. So let's go over to Siskiyou County. I'm going to go ahead and click on Siskiyou County over here. By the way, you keep scrolling down. You see what's going on here? Look at that. You got an interactive map. So you're looking for Siskiyou County. Click on Siskiyou County. There you have it. So check this out. You've got some 7-day forecasts in there. Boom. There is McLeod. There's your 7-day forecast for McLeod. So Frank, there you have it. And then you click on it for a bigger image of it, and there is the McLeod 7-day forecast. For Saturday, for the Mushroom Festival, look at that, partly cloudy skies, beautiful. Temperature of 68 degrees for that daytime high. So there you go. Rather than just tell you, I can show you where you can find out on your own. That's what I love about Weather NorCal, is number one, this is a great resource for you because 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you have a website available to you that has all the information that you're going to need, even for your local neighborhood. Okay? And that's one of the things that I really wanted to focus on. One of the first objectives that I had with Weather NorCal is to help people who live in a lot of the mountain communities and smaller communities in general to be able to have a reliable source where you can get a 7-day forecast, planners for the day. Now, of course, I can't put every single tiny little community in there, but you get the idea. McLeod, rarely, if ever, I've seen a 7-day forecast that any media outlet will show you. So, I show, for the most part, a lot of different 7-day forecasts during my fly-through. So that's kind of one of the cool things that I love being able to for you to have and utilize with Weather NorCal. And by the way, these neighborhood forecasts are available on your phone as well from the free Weather NorCal app. When you go on the app, you'll see neighborhoods. You click on that, and then you'll have the 6 different neighborhoods that you can click on. And before you know it, you're looking at the same maps I was just showing you there on the website. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today, folks. Let's take a look at some of the cameras out there. I wanted to actually show you the Sundial Bridge camera to see what maybe if the wind. Oh yeah, this is a prime example. There you can see this is what it looks like out on the Sundial Bridge. See, those winds are blowing. They are blowing out there out in Redding this morning. So just be aware of that. Let's be extra careful this morning as we kind of go through the day today. If you're mowing a lawn and it's dry out there, maybe just kind of holding off today because we want to be extra careful out there. Thank you all so much for watching this morning. We will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Kruger, bright and early at 7 o'clock. We'll see you. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.